Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Trench Talk, with me, Xander.
And me, James.
And this week, our special guest is David Ashby. Hello, David.
Hello.
James, do you want to...
Right, we'll start this off by asking you, what got you into archaeology?
I don't know what got me into archaeology. I've always loved it since a young age. I can't actually remember.
Okay.
So, like, just sort of when you were very little, was it...
I used to dig holes in my parents' garden. They still do have a bit that they use an allotment at the top. I used to dig holes in there. And I've always loved archaeology.
I've just got this image in my head of you with a hard high vis, 3 years old. So it was nothing in particular about it then?
No, that's my knowledge. Not I can remember.
Were your parents interested in the past at all?
Not really.
Oh, so it's just something that you just sort of gravitated to without... Well, fantastic.
We haven't heard that one before.
No, I mean, both people we've spoken to before, it's always been all the physical side, or the what you can see and can't see. I have no idea. I just like it. Okay. Do you have a favourite period in archaeology?
I'll cover anything apart from the really early stuff. So like the Paleolithic, which is just dull.
Keith Wilkinson land.
Yes. But I'll cover anything else right from the Romans through prehistoric, right to the way to the modern period.
You haven't got like a favourite?
No, I'll cover most things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Can you remember what your first dig was, other than your back garden?
I did some digs with young archaeologists, club in Oxfordshire, but I also worked on first proper one I did was I worked on a site with Oxford Archaeology up at Whitnam Clumps.
Okay, what was the...
It's an Iron Age and Roman site, and we spent time digging an Iron Age midden.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Plenty of finds then.
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, leading on from that directly, I suppose, it's a question that we archaeologists loathe to be asked, but what's the best thing you've found, David?
Best thing I found? I go for a full site, so finding Stamford Vale as a previously unknown major archaeological site.
I think that's a very fantastic thing to find, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Also, there are things like I did a geophysical survey at a school in Andover a couple of years ago on their playing fields, because they had lots of strange earthworks in their playing fields. And the survey, after a week of doing survey work, it showed what looks like a previously unknown Roman fort.
Oh, bloody hell. Stop finding things. You're putting the rest of us to shame.
Right, what was your university experience like?
Good. I came here for my degree and my masters.
How many years ago was it you started?
2008 I started here. So that's a full-time degree and a part-time masters. So yeah, I enjoyed it, otherwise I wouldn't stay.
Was there anything particular that stood out for you for Winchester? Because I mean, obviously, you know, every student picks their uni for a reason. What was it about Winchester that stuck out for you?
Small city, small university, small department. I went and visited Leicester University, and the open day I went on had the full population of Winchester University on a single open day, which is ridiculous.
That is a bit much, isn't it? Yeah. Were there any other smaller places you might have looked at?
I looked at Bournemouth. That was horrible.
I looked at Bournemouth as well. I was put off by the coloured feet on the floor.
What?
Yeah.
Strange. And they were the three I looked at. So here was the best. I liked here.
The thing that stuck out for me for Winchester was mainly the staff, actually, because I went to Bangor for an open day, and the staff seemed very kind of, we're the staff and you are the students. I went to this other little tiny thing in Wales, I can't remember what it's called, but that was, you could probably fit the entire village, because it was a village.
Oh, Lampeter.
Yeah, you can fit the entire village and the university probably within Meadcroft, to be quite honest. It's tiny, and that had a better attitude, but it was just too small for me, really. And then the attitude here at Winchester, the lecturers just seemed friendly, and that really drew me in, I think.
The other thing I had with here, and I also had with Leicester, but Bournemouth in Nottingham, was because I had so much experience prior to my degree, they wanted me for that. I remember one of the Leicester University lecturers going, "You've got more experience than I have."
I was gonna try and bring up that that, but now you brought it up. James, have you got anything you want to ask him about that?
When did you start kind of getting all your experience? Was it before uni?
Yeah, before uni,
We just said that he was experienced.
Well, I did. I dug with the Young Archaeologist.
Yeah.
The Young Archaeologist Club in Oxfordshire. We dug in Woodstock Museum Gardens, and we also dug on a site near Milton Keynes.
So was that just excavations? You didn't study it?
Yeah,
beforehand?
no, that was just excavation. I did a GCSE in archaeology. I was the only one in the school who did that. I did that online, which was very good. But I did work with Oxford Archaeology. I dug at Vindlander for a couple of seasons, and I also dug at Oxford University and supervised with for them as well on one of their training excavations, so taught their students.
I remember you complaining about them.
What, Vindlander?
No, well, not Vindlander particularly, but Oxford University students.
Yeah, Oxford University students are interesting. I used to teach on the continuing education course, so they took students from all over the world, and they were brilliant. But the actual students from Oxford University themselves were awful.
Well, I suppose they're a little bit entitled, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The hard work is beneath them.
Yeah, a lot of them think that. Out of, I think, the 20 odd students we had for a week, about 2 were alright. The rest of them, all the site staff wanted to get rid of them by the end of the week we had with them.
It was a similar kind of feeling, like, I went to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It was a very similar kind of feeling with some of the staff there, the students that they were digging at because it was a training excavation. There was a feeling that the students were a bit awful.
So what did you do your dissertation on?
I looked. My dissertation looked at a field in Stamford Vale in Oxfordshire.
Okay.
So I did survey work. So we did resistivity, magnetometry, Southampton University GPR survey for me, Auger survey. That was it. Oh, an earthwork survey.
Just that.
Yeah, just that.
And with this, we are talking your undergrad dissertation
Yeah,
here.
my undergrad.
That's probably more work than some people put into their masters. And that was when you found Stamford in the Vale, wasn't it?
That was beforehand. I started Stamford Vale in 2008 before I started my degree.
Oh right.
I don't think many people can do that.
No. I have been looking forward to this specific podcast because I never actually. You're not exactly elusive, but like we as the students don't know you. So I mean, some people didn't even realise you were a student until this year. Were you one of them? I can't remember.
No.
I know some people thought that you were.
dug with David before I came here.
Oh right.
So.
But some people thought that you were just a technician.
Mm.
They didn't realise that you not only were you a PhD student, but you were also better qualified than a lot of people they may have met in the outside world of archaeology ever before. But bringing it back to digging, there is always a big part of digging is obviously you've got to keep yourself full of energy, full of sustenance. Yes, I'm asking this one. What was your perfect 3 meals in a day of digging be?
What, as in?
A breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. Yeah.
Well, cereals for breakfast. Packed lunch for.
What would you have
lunch.
in the packed lunch?
I don't know, just sandwiches, packet crisps, something like that.
Okay.
And chocolate bar, and then I don't know. Usually if I'm digging lots, I do a stew for dinner because then it lasts me the week.
Oh right, so you make one stew on the Monday night and then just make a massive pot of it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, keeps things free in the evening.
Yeah.
Especially you're usually the last off site, aren't you?
For the training excavation here, yes. Some days this year we were working 12, 13-hour days.
Especially because of the. Are we allowed to talk about skellies?
Yeah, can't see why not.
Yeah, especially because the site's closed over now.
Yeah.
Especially because of all the skellies that were coming up.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite archaeological tool that you use on site?
And don't say students.
Students is forbidden.
I don't know. Trowel, a nice sharp shovel. One that's on the blunt ones are horrible to use. But yeah, something like that.
Okay. That's 2 trowels and 1
Mattock.
Well, no, because well, I suppose Simon basically ended up saying trowel after going through my senses. And
He said some really spiritual answers.
yeah, he did. That didn't take me aback. It took me by surprise actually. But so we've got a trowel, a mattock, and a kind of a trowel, but he's being overly complicated with the question. Okay, I think we should keep a tally of that because I think it'd be quite interesting to find out. But yeah, Nick said mattock.
He likes destroying things, I think. Do you prefer the actual excavation side of archaeology over the analysis?
I'll do anything really. I'll do anything that's fieldwork based. I enjoy, but I'll do post-ex. I enjoy doing post-ex, so qualification of finds, specialisms, looking at certain things.
Is there anything particular that you don't like so much?
I don't know. I'll do most of it.
Barrow monkeying.
Yeah, pushing the barrows up very steep spoilings where people haven't done the ramps properly.
Yeah. Well, they go up halfway and think, balls to this.
Yeah. I'll cover most things. Don't mind. I work in any weather conditions. I've done survey work in snow.
We could do an archaeological calendar of just you standing in a field in your high vis and your hat in all weathers.
The only thing I'll stop in is in thunder and lightning.
Really?
Yeah. I've got. I did a hand auger survey as part of the site we were working in Marcham with Oxford University, and it was absolutely pouring with rain. And we pulled out this hand auger on a 5 metre long pole, and next to us was a big flash of lightning and crack of thunder. We very quickly put down the
So is that experience, I guess, sort of just put you off the whole idea of thunder and lightning?
Oh no, I don't particularly wish to get electrocuted.
but I mean, if you're on your knees with a trowel, you're not getting, unless you hold the trowel up, you're not going to get struck.
But if you're on an open field, you standing up is the highest point.
Well, you standing up is the highest point.
But yeah, you'll usually got something metal on you, so piece of
Your
metal
watch
survey
or
equipment or things like magnetometers.
Do they attract
you're taught that if you're in a thunder and lightning storm is to put the magnetometer down and walk away from it because they naturally attract lightning.
Because of the magnets?
I presume so, yeah. So
that could be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Archaeology is a dangerous. But that's why you do a health and safety report before every. Do you have to put in thunder and lightning into?
It comes under weather conditions.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere in the world you would really love to dig, like a particular part of the world that you might never think you might have a chance to, but that you'd really like to?
No, stay in Britain.
Really?
Yeah, I don't own a passport.
Not at all?
No, I don't own a passport, and I've only ever once been abroad, and that was with school.
Where did you go?
France for a day.
Was it god awful? Well, I'm glad that you're not going to rush off to a better paying country to do archaeology.
I've never been on a plane either.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of flying, or?
I've never done it, so it's not something I particularly want to do.
It's
either.
not the most enjoyable thing.
No, I am quite afraid of flying. The worst was I went on holiday with Teresa's family to Spain, and I'm afraid of flying. I will admit, but I was just about fine during the flight, and we were circling the airport to land, and the plane tilts, and I looked down out of the window, and that was fine. Picking out all the houses. I love that. And then Teresa was next to me and she tapped me and said, "Look at the other one." And I looked out and you're looking directly up at the sky and my stomach just flipped. I couldn't deal with that. And I've no idea why looking up was the thing that scared me so much. I'm already up.
See, I can't stand, because I'm terrified of heights, I can't stand looking out the windows as taking off to see the ground and suddenly the ground just goes. I can't handle it.
Because they go at a fair pace when they take off, don't they? Or at least you notice that they're doing it.
You can feel the brain whisk to your toes. It's not good.
Anyway, but back to archaeology.
You got a particular site in Britain that you've always wanted to dig on?
Or that you wish you dug, like a particular...
So it could have been, 20 years ago.
A few years ago, so I was still in my undergrad at the time, I was offered a place to go and dig in Orkney.
Oh. Was that with Nick?
No, with a friend of mine from Oxford University who runs a dig, or used to run a dig in Orkney. And I was offered a place to go and dig there for a month, and I never went. and I partially wish I did, but I would have done myself in, and that's why I didn't go, because I would have worked. I would have supervised for a month on the Oxford University excavation, gone straight from there to Orkney, dug for a month, and then come straight back from there and dug on the university excavation.
That 3 months straight digging,
or going that far, travelling up and then travelling back down.
I doubt even you, David, could.
The digging
and
would
you'd
have
have
been alright.
you'd have to flown as well.
Oh, I looked doing night trains. Doing a sleep train.
I meant to get to Orkney.
No, because there's a
Ferry.
boat. There's a ferry.
It takes ages though.
12 hours it takes. So, from Aberdeen to Orkney.
Oh dear. But you kind of wish
I
that you
kind
could.
of wish I went, but I think I would have just done myself in.
Carrying on from that, is there anything particular that you really do regret in your archaeological career so far?
Other than this.
Other than doing this podcast, of course.
Not really. No, I don't think so.
Other than possibly, not going on this.
Not really Orkney, but no, nothing else. Not really.
Do you have any particular plans in mind for the future in general? Like, do you want to once your PhD's concluded, are you hoping that you might be offered to continue on here, or maybe as a lecturer? Or
Yeah, I'd like to get a lectureship job, preferably here. But if not, I'll just continue as a technician, as long as they don't terminate my contract.
Well, I mean, it's not much. It's not much of a jump anyway, because you take a few lectures here and there.
Yeah, I teach here anyway. Yeah.
After this PhD's done, have you got any particular any research ideas that you might want to explore?
I don't know. The growth of settlements is what I'm into. It's one of the things I look at a lot. So looking at how settlements change over time. So my PhD looks at the collapse of towns in modern Oxfordshire, so post 1975. And my PhD will only look at a couple of them. We'll look at Stamford because that is which I think is one of them. Yeah. It will look at Hook Norton, which is up in the Cotswolds, because that had a market charter, is now a village. And we'll possibly look at one or two others, but there are 20 of them. So there's a possibility of going and continue my research and looking at some of the others that are around.
Okay. Would that involve large-scale excavation or the small scale that you've been conducting with Stamford?
I don't know. It's possibly might for scales have some large-scale excavation, but it will mainly be on landowner permission.
And campsite availability.
Yeah, and things like that. Yeah.
Because I can easily see you being put, David Ashby's excavation put up on the Learning Network as one of the possible ones to do in your summer, up there with Cornwall and whatnot. I think I'd be interested in that.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah.
Sorry, is it we're whizzing through these questions? We might actually end up asking all of them.
Your trowels.
Yes, the two we've got with you.
You seem to have actually brought them.
Yes, I did remember.
Unlike us.
Yes.
Is the Diddy one? Is that your first trowel?
Yes, that's my first proper one.
That's really skew with.
Yeah. It's amazing. You can show them which side of the tram I'm with.
The handle feels quite small.
It's just very worn down.
No, I mean the handle.
Yeah.
Really, the handle's worn down.
Or it will have slightly, but also it was just very.
How many excavations would you say it's taken to get?
God knows. Well, I replaced
many.
That. I replaced my other one. I replaced in about 3-4 years ago. So it doesn't take very long, and I'm soon going to have to replace that one. I've got a new one already because that's going to be a bit small.
The orange tape is your identifier, is it?
Yes, yeah. So orange electrical tape is quite hard to get hold of.
Well, it's very impressive the level of degradation you've managed to get on those. Are you going to keep them forever? Have a little shelf full of old trowels?
Yeah, well, I still use my little one because I use it for digging skellies mainly, or anything else small and fine. So I'll still keep them. Yeah, you become very attached to your trowel.
Unless you're Simon Ruffy.
Yeah, he loses it every 5 minutes.
But then material possession and. Oh dear. What do you think of the idea that bringing it a bit more academic again, What do you think of the idea that in the future we won't need or won't want to excavate sites? With advances in non-penetrative surveying techniques and very limited penetrative exploration of sites, what do you feel about that notion that the digging days are numbered?
We'll always have to carry out excavation. Survey work will only tell you a certain amount. You can't, or you can within reason, date something through survey work, but without doing, I hate the term, but ground truthing. So going to look at the site, going to dig holes. Even if you look at really modern techniques, so things like LiDAR data, you can look at LiDAR data and go, oh, there's an archaeological feature there, but until you actually get on the ground, it might be a modern earthwork or a modern pond or something like that. Something that's going on when the data's collected. Even things like radar data, things that might look like archaeological features, but they'll turn out to be geological or main services, something like that. You won't be able to tell from that data set. It's the only way you're going to interpret data is to go and look and dig a hole. But also for things like commercial work, it doesn't matter how much survey work you do, they're still going to have to dig something, because they'll remove it through putting in foundations or cellars, so you're going to still collect that data somehow.
I really like that answer, because
I think it's spot on.
Well, as if we have the answer sheet. No, but I know what you meant by that, James. I
agree with that completely. So.
I feel like there's too many Bens in the world Ben Thomas who insist that we won't need to dig later on as long as we look after the stuff we've got. His idea is that he's into industrial archaeology, as you may know, and he's adamant that as long as you look after those, there'll never be a need to do any kind of excavation of these areas. However, going on from what you said, I would completely disagree with him on that, because a building is a building, the environment around it is different, and the environment around it holds things that the building itself or the canal or whatever don't have.
Even if you look at post-medieval or modern sites, documentary sources will only tell you a certain amount. It's amazing what will turn out through excavations. So, an example, there's a place called Cox's Hall in South Vale. On the 1890 map, there is a western wing to the house. And on the 1910, there isn't. It's been demolished. Now, no one knew why it was demolished. It doesn't appear in any records we can find. There's a very small written description of the wing in an 1860s book, but that's all we've got. But through excavation, we found that it was demolished after a major fire, or we think it was. And that's why they took this wing down. And the wing is actually much earlier than the rest of the house. The current house is a later extension
of the wing that
they took down. But you would never find that through records, and you'd only know it through excavation.
I suppose there's also some level of the records could be very biased as well.
Yes, yeah. Most records will only tell you about high status or things of importance. Archaeology tells you about that low status or an everyday activity.
Such as even just like you said, the age of a particular part of the building.
Yeah. Or what people are using, what tools people are using. If you look really far back, you won't get historic records for the Saxon period or prehistory at all, apart from things like Caesar's diaries, and then they won't go back hugely.
And he's not interested in the way that the local Britons make their house.
No.
Or that small boy over there lost his bag of amber or whatever.
Yeah. Or people burying things, so like Roman coin hoards, why they've been buried. You won't have that record.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you have any nicknames that you're aware of?
Before or within being at uni?
I know I have two, but neither of them are uni. Both have come from doing scouting. And one is, when I used to do scouts at Southampton Vale in Oxfordshire, they used to call me Dashby, to shorten my name. And the Winchester Scouts used to call me Doffis because there used to be 2 scout leaders called Dave or David, and they shortened mine to Doffis, so I used to do all the admin. So I was Dave in the office.
I can't think of any that you might have at the uni.
Katie calls you something.
Casey calls me
Furo.
No.
Oh, that was because
That was on excavation.
on excavation. If we can find a photo, we'll put it in the podcast. But on excavation, when David had this or what was it? What they
Like a
called?
marquee.
A gazebo marquee with a desk with all this paperwork, and he'd sit hunched over in his big coat, and he'd be writing on this, and you did genuinely look like this was Raiders of the Lost Ark or something.
The other thing Katie calls me is she calls me a. Is it whatever
The
you like?
orangutan.
Orangutan.
Yeah.
Because I have very long arms, so I'm able to dig deep graves, and I wear an orange coat.
Oh, but let's see how many first years we can get calling you either the Führer or the orangutan, or we'll find out the German for orangutan and call you that. But then, I mean, they're nice nicknames. I think friendly, playful ones. Like Herr Commandant. Oh dear, the podcast is taking a fairly right-wing tone. What do you feel makes a good archaeologist? Be it field work, lab work, and academia.
Hard worker. Get stuck in and just do things. Certainly in field work, we'll work in any weather. We'll just get on and work. Doesn't mind admin. Archaeology is admin and cleaning. We'll just get on, do with it, and find a way to get around problems. So not always be direct at something. So if you find a problem, think about how to get around it. That's one of the things you need.
I suppose that last bit tags on to the academia as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of archaeological theory is based on there's a problem in the past. How do these people deal with the problem?
Yeah.
Are any kind of undergrads interested in, or people who are leaving college and thinking about coming to uni, they're interested in archaeology? Is there any tips that you would give to say, I can't word this? Is there anything you would suggest to someone that's interested in archaeology
To be a better...
to look into before coming to university? If that
I
makes
don't know. Certainly, when you come and study archaeology, it gives you we start from the basics, so we give you a good grounding. So you don't need an archaeological background. As long as you enjoy it and you enjoy being outside, really. Even if you want to go into finds and lab-based work, you need that sort of grounding of knowing where the finds materials come from. You need to do some field work, even if it's just one season of a training excavation when you do in the first year of your degree. But no, you don't need any background really, as long as you enjoy history and sort of being outside sort of things.
Look, I mean, enjoying the past is one of the big bonuses. Well, big requirements, I suppose.
Archaeology is so broad. It covers so many subjects, and you can do so much with it after a degree. You don't need to go into archaeology. You can go into geography-based subjects, geographical information systems, sort of IT things, surveying, things to do with geology.
Become Keith Wilkinson.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, when ArcSoc goes out on a night out, what kind of things do you reckon we get up to?
Well, he's been on a few, hasn't he? When you were a lowly undergrad, you must have gone on some ArcSoc nights out.
Well, the only ones I went to were the ones who go to the pub and have a chat. The rest of them, I assume you get drunk as your students.
Nah, we don't drink a lot.
No, the archaeologists.
We don't like alcohol.
Pigs might fly off their wings.
Although I will not. That's the one thing where this is going to sound really. I don't mean. The way I was going to word it in the first place was completely the wrong way round. The stereotypical archaeologist is a drinker, but you're teetotal, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't drink.
I know some people who don't drink but have a little glass at Christmas time or whatever on a special occasion. But you're completely teetotal, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't drink.
You've never really had an interest in it.
No, I don't like the taste of it, and it's cheaper not to.
Which I think is fair enough. It means there's always one sober man on site.
We all have to be sober.
Well, I mean, one man without a hangover. We are running on mainly random questions that come out of my head, which is why they're getting a bit disjointed. Because you've talked at a mile a minute, David, through this. Has the outdoorsiness of being a scout? Do you think that's been something that's benefited you as an archaeologist, or even vice versa? Has your time being an archaeologist made you a better scout leader?
Well, scouting means that you work as a team, and certainly I'm an SL, so scout leader, so I lead my scout section. So those skills going well for teaching you lot as undergrads on sites, being patient in most cases. But ploughing things I learnt on my degree, I plough back into scouting. So we teach about the use of GPS, and it means that we can teach it to a better degree. Things like mapping. So because I do archaeology so much, I look a lot about what's in the landscape around me all the time. So it means it's easier to teach scouts map reading skills, because it's something that I can just teach off to my head, and we teach them that, how to look around them and what's about them, rather than just looking at what's on the map and navigating off a compass.
Do you feel like you've probably encouraged a new two lots of archaeologists for the future then, in these two, your Stamford in the Vale troop and your Winchester troop? Do you feel like you've made a few people interested enough to want to do it at an academic level?
Yes, definitely wants to do it and come and do it at degree level. We run a heritage badge course as part of the Winchester district. I run it once a year.
I remember you said that you did that. You got them to do test pitting in Stamford, didn't you?
Yeah. So as part of the Winchester district, we run a heritage badge course, which is for 4 weeks, 4 evenings of a month, once a year, and we get them to look at proper archaeological material and everything else. And every time we have usually 12 young people on that. So we're drawing them in, and it's amazing how much they know and how much then they learn and want to get into archaeology. But with Stamford, we started that off because through the Heritage Badge, which is one of the Scout badges, and getting them to do it over a few evenings, and then getting them to dig some test pits over a weekend. It's amazing what they learn, and suddenly things like the national curriculum are changing, so that now. History and national curriculum states that in primary school they have to learn about their local history and not just worldwide things, so it's drawing people in that way as well, which is quite good.
So archaeology and scouts obviously like huge bits of your life.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to kind of that level you get up to in your free time, like hobbies wise?
Or possibly games or something?
Not really. I think they're the two things that fill most of my time nowadays.
They're fairly expansive.
Yeah.
Yes.
In terms of free time, obviously you're very much a reader, right? I'm assuming.
I don't read. No.
Really?
Not much. No.
That does surprise me. Further than academic stuff.
Yeah, apart from academic stuff, I don't read much at all.
I tend to go through phases. I read a lot and then I just won't for quite a while. So.
Yeah. No. Don't really read much at all.
Fair enough. Which means my Lord of the Rings reference at the beginning before we started went up. Oh dear. I had a brilliant thing to ask, but I've forgotten it now.
I think it's just caught us so off guard. We've gone through this so quick.
Because with Simon and Nick, it's been very much like
Simon blew us back with all his spiritual stuff.
Yeah, I was a bit like, okay. And Nick Nick talked for a very, very long time and went very, very heavy.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really fit in as many of the questions. But I think you've really cleared us out. But I don't want to finish because we've still got plenty of time. Is there anything you'd like to ask us?
What do you think of your degree here? What do you?
I've loved it.
Yeah. Why did you come to Winchester? And
it was small. I lived down the road anyway, so I knew the area. And I quite liked the course as well. And the lecturers are quite friendly. So.
Did you look anywhere else?
I looked at Bournemouth. I didn't like it. I think I looked at places like Reading as well, but I never went up to their open days. But I only applied for this one in the end, so and I put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Got lucky.
Yeah, I did, because I applied to here. I did apply to Reading and Leicester, but Reading, even Bournemouth and Leicester, but only because I needed to fill a sheet with something. I applied to Truro because I had to choose something else. But here I put in for the degree, but I also put in for the, I don't know if you can still do it, but you used to be able to do like a foundation degree in archaeology.
I don't think so.
Hadn't heard of it.
No.
I had looked at like I say Bangor and I've already forgotten the name of it, Lampeter. There were a few that I sort of ummed and ahed about. Canterbury Christchurch interested me a little bit, but it boiled down to a lot of the courses they didn't really enthrall me too much. In the end, I think I applied for here twice actually. I applied for straight archaeology and I applied for archaeology and history because at the time I was aware of archaeology and I'm interested in archaeology since I was young, mainly through Time Team, if I'm honest.
Didn't you do an A-level on it?
Yeah, that's what I was getting onto.
Right.
So I've been interested in the idea of archaeology, but not really known too much about it. And my mum actually, I've got a funny story to tell about my mum to do with archaeology. She was very much into archaeology and was for a time thinking about doing archaeology related things other than what she was actually doing. I can't remember exactly what she does anymore or used to do. And she was working on she was taking part in an excavation in where I'm from, in Braintree in Essex, and it was in the garden of a pub, which I don't think is there anymore. And they were digging down for whatever, and she picked something up and thought roof tile. And they weren't collecting roof tile for whatever. She thought it was modern roof tile. Threw it on the swall heap. Supervisor walks up behind her, picks it up, and goes, "What did you think this was? Modern roof tile. It's a bit of Roman Samian ware." And she didn't do anything like that again. But yeah, I did history and drama at GCSE, along with other random stuff, but they were the two things that I was focusing on to carry on to A-level. I did drama A-level.
It's like doing sport and IT.
I did drama A-level, which I dropped out of. I dropped out after the first year of A-level, and I did medieval history, classical civilizations, and politics, which I also dropped. And I nearly didn't do archaeology. Because the pompous windbag that I had my interview with, and he's never going to listen to this, but I bloody well hope you do, you awful man. He said to me that for history-based subjects, because politics was a history-based subject in that particular sixth form, he said that 4 history things is too much. Drop one of them and pick up something else. And at the time, I thought, well, archaeology, I don't really know too much about it. It was something I was going to do out of just pure interest. I don't think I'm going to follow this through. I decided to get rid of that. In the end of my GCSEs, I didn't get enough points to do what I replaced it with, which I think was critical thinking or something. Which it turned out I dodged a bullet because that was an awful course. I knew some people who did it terrible. And my tutor, because I went in for a meeting, so I didn't get enough to do this particular course, and she said, "Oh, is there anything you particularly wanted to do?" And I said, "Well, I got told I couldn't do archaeology, but so I suppose I'll have to think about something else." She said, "Oh no, it's fine. You can do 4 history-based subjects." So I did it and loved it thoroughly at A-level. Got rid of politics and drama because they were rubbish. Took on ancient history. So in my second year of college, I was doing nothing but history subjects.
I did history subjects all the way through.
Well, for everything.
Yeah. Well, I did geography, so that's kind of...
It's not I did everything history and geography.
It kind of links in with archaeology.
Well, yeah, so
the
landscape, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the end, I just sort of decided that I did a mental flip of the coin between straight archaeology and archaeology history, and I'm so glad that I did straight archaeology.
So I only went to my college so I could study archaeology.
Same here, actually. In the end. On that subject, actually, what did you do at college?
I went
or
sixth form.
That's what I meant.
I went sixth form, which is my secondary school I went to, and I did biology, history, and geography, and I did half an A level in general studies, but very quickly got rid of that.
What even is general studies?
It's what it states. It is a general study.
I don't
It is
think
rubbish.
Universities really look at that.
I don't think they do anymore.
Yeah.
It was theoretically compulsory in our secondary school, and we had to do it to A2. Apart from someone accidentally missed me off the list, so I never did it.
Little admin flaws like that are wonderful, aren't they?
So now, Peter Simmons College, they make their students do critical thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that all the universities, if they see it on, they just kind of ask.
Yeah, critical thinking and general studies are the two that they do one or the other as compulsory usually.
And they tell you universities love it, and universities don't give two hoots.
No.
I mean, why would you? You want someone who's either specialised in the field they're going into, or have just shown that they're smart. Yeah. You're not going to pick someone who did critical thinking over politics for an art degree.
Yes.
Are you? You're just going to go, they've got points.
Yeah. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. They say that the skills you learn in critical thinking are applicable to other things, but you get taught them in other things anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, because I never did it. So I don't know what you get taught.
They overly use the overuse of logic.
Okay, yeah. It's just another term of general studies.
Yeah. But the thing is, it really irritates me because to me, logic is illogical. Because if you do everything purely based on logic, and if you only ever use the information you're given and never think outside the box, which is what the course was actually teaching you. I remember I sat in on a tester of it in my open day for the sixth one I went to, and the information given, I knew that one part of the information was incorrect. But we were being told to use this, and in this scenario, this information is true. But I knew that it wasn't correct, so I just completely disregarded it. To me, it was bollocks not to put too fine a point on it.
I think I find it hard to think inside the box.
But yes, you're a very strange person.
Oh, I'm really weird.
Do you find yourself an in the box thinker or an out the box thinker?
Out of the box, usually. Yeah. So I try and find ways around things a lot of the time.
Do you feel like finding a way to do the minimum amount of work for the maximum amount of gain is a good way to run your life?
Not always. You can.
In some situations.
Well, it depends what it is. A lot of. Certainly through the things I do for technician, certainly if there's a really expensive piece of kit we've got to buy, I will try and see if we can make it rather than buy it, because some things are horrifically expensive. Things like osteometric boards, they're about, if we bought them, they're a couple of £100 each, and we make them for about £10 a go.
I remember the trolley for the GPR. You made that because the official bit of kit,
a couple of £1,000,
and you made it for what?
About 50-60 quid.
And most of that was just spent buying wood and buying wheels.
Even there's a stirrer we use for stirring grain size samples, and to buy a stirrer would cost us a couple of £100. I've made one out of an old light fitting and a piece of steel rod that came out the skips.
And I think that is a very good show of the fact that this is the way you should be a good archaeologist.
Yeah.
Don't just go for the straightforward, this is what you got to do, or this is what this is. Yeah. Think, well, it doesn't have to be this.
No. Yeah. As long as you don't constantly call it ritual.
So you're a subscriber of anything that's called ritual when you don't know what it is stupidity.
Yes. Ritual is not its ritual. Well, that just doesn't mean anything.
because I guess at the end of the day, a lot of things are ritualistic, even if you don't really think about it in that way. I don't know anything about sport, but an example of a ritualistic behaviour that my sixth form archaeology teacher gave was, there's a particular football stadium where a particular team plays and have played there for the past amount of years, and there's a bit of the wood on the entranceway or something, or the bit of the wood where the players come in, which is worn down because every player touches it as they go onto the pitch, and that's an example of ritualistic behaviour. I think he was using it in the sense of people. He was trying to say that West Kennet Longbarrow, the sharpening stone, may have been used whilst it was in the monument as well as when it was just in the ground, because you go there to see your ancestors, and this sharpening stone was used by the ancestors, and we sharpen our axe on the stone whilst we're there. And he was using that as an analogy, but it's ritualistic behaviour without necessarily a spiritual line within the football stadium example. But
Why
which
would
can
you even describe it as ritual?
Well, no, but
It's people touching the wood as they
But
walk
it is
past.
classified as a ritual, theoretically.
and if
Because
you
it's
and if
something
you
do.
because people in the past did it. They're doing it because 50 years
Oh,
ago.
they're doing it because someone else.
No,
has done it.
yeah, they're doing it.
Oh,
okay.
The stadium's been there for X amount of time, and
Yeah.
the team has played there for an X amount of time, and since the beginning, they've touched that for luck as they
Okay.
go out. Like, they come out the door, they touch it like that, and
Okay, that makes
then...
sense. I thought you were just saying you just walk past it and they just touch it.
No!
Because it's
Because I do that. If I walk past a wall,
Well, you
and I'm
just
walking
touch it for
along,
the
I
sake of
might
touching
run
the
my
wall.
finger along for the sake of it.
Oh, like a little kid with railings and a stick.
Yeah.
I suddenly got this image of you in a little sailor suit with a hoop and stick.
No.
I can see you like that, actually, David. But it would have to be a very, very large hoop.
Oh, right. It's coming up to 4, so if we
It is coming up to
time
4,
for one
yes.
more question.
Now, David, I ask you this question, and then we have to try and guess the answer, and then you provide points based on the.
Okay.
What is your favourite type of pie?
Okay.
Now, what do you think, James?
Sweet.
You're going sweet again.
I'm
You
going
always
sweet
go
again.
sweet. What kind
Okay.
of sweet pie?
Like an apple pie.
Apple pie.
Yeah, because
Okay.
everyone else has gone for apple pie. So.
Well, Simon went for apple crumble, but no, I don't think that of David. I think David is a savoury pie man.
Okay.
But I don't think it's what I've guessed the previous. I don't think it
It's
is.
not steak and ale.
I don't think it's steak and ale. I think it could. I don't know. I'm getting leek and potato. I don't know why.
Chicken and mushroom.
Chicken. No, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm going out on a limb. Leek and potato. I think that's a pie. Is that a pie?
This is a pie, but no.
Oh.
It's minted lamb. They do a really good
That's
minted
savoury.
lamb pie at
That
the
is
farmers
savoury, yeah.
market at Winchester.
So I suppose, do I get a point there because I
Yeah,
went
go on,
savoury?
you went
Yeah.
savoury.
So
Yeah.
we're
Must
neck
be
and neck
even.
again, or
Yeah, we're even.
no? Actually, no. I'm winning because you got one right, and then I got one closer than you. And
That's not a point. If you got closer than me, you just got
okay,
points
right. You got it
So
dead on with Nick. So that's 2 points, say.
Okay.
But I got savoury this time, and I got apple related sweet with Simon. So we're even.
Oh, okay.
I got 2 points. You got 2 points. Okay.
I'm still winning on a keep game, so. You owe me what, £18 for Guinness?
Just you wait. Oh, actually, no. We might as well quickly ask that as well. Music, Dave.
Yeah.
If you could, obviously, there's the health and safety problems on site. You're listening to music whilst there. But what kind of music would you want to listen to whilst excavating? Like, if you could have a big set of speakers up in the commandant tent, broadcasting. Is it a hearty rousing song? Winchester. No, but yeah. What music would you want to be listening to whilst excavating if it were health and safetyable?
Classical is what I listen to a lot.
Okay. Do you have a particular
I listen to something called Amadeus is how I pronounce it, but I'm sure it's
Amadeus?
wrong. Something like that. It's a classical thing. It used to be years ago. It might be before you were born, but it used to be on the Cheltenham Gloucester advert. Cheltenham Gloucester banking advert.
Maybe.
No. I didn't even know that was a bank.
Yeah.
So definitely before you're not that much older than us.
I don't know. It rings a bell. The bank rings a bell.
I think it was Cheltenham and Gloucester used to be on, where some kid used to swim underwater and collect something and then swim back up.
No.
No.
Was this back when TV was grainy? And
No, it was not in black and white.
Oh well. But I think that's a very nice ending. And so yes, so it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, David. Bye.
Bye.